Hello.
Not a clue. Could it
Okay,
be
we're on.
that Neptune in Pisces is even sluggish?
Ah, that's our problem. Oh, well, let's start. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cartomancy Mesquite. I'm Angela. This is my friend Diana. She's going to be reading the Oracle Garden with me today. We just love doing this. We have so much fun with it. Yep.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Nope.
We're probably a little rusty because we haven't been on for over a month.
Yep.
2 months.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I was so wrapped up with Deb, the two of us were going 24/7.
Sure. Yeah, that was pretty intense stuff to go through.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But we made it, and she made it up the stairs to her apartment. That was an amazing accomplishment.
That's a very positive accomplishment.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and I was really happy for her that she was able to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
So what you got going on lately?
Well, we need extra wishes and strong blue light and divine white light and grace for everyone right now. It is so intense out there. It's going to continue to be because now we're working up towards the lunar eclipse. Well, first off, the sun in 2 days, the sun goes into Aries. So we begin a new year. This is our do-over. We have another new year now into the astrological new year. So as we go into that, we begin the celebration of the equinox and the first day of spring. So that whole opening is really going to be like a 3-day progression, right? From the 19th till about the 21st. And then shortly after that, we have the lunar eclipse in Libra with the sun in Aries on the 25th of March. So we have that energy coming up as well. And then we have the big event of April 8th and the solar eclipse. And it's a total solar eclipse. And in the path of the eclipse that is going to begin up in New England and going to crisscross through Texas and go down into the Baja. Last year, when we had the total solar, it started up in Washington State and went across and went through Texas and went into the Gulf of Mexico. They crisscross in the same place in San Antonio, Texas. Hot spot this year, would you say? Would you think? I mean, probably always is, but San Antonio is definitely getting a double shot. And with the one that we have this year, we have the Green Ponds Mills Comet.
Oh, shoot.
The Green Comet is also called the Dragon Comet or the Devil Comet. He's very wide, he's very long, he's very intense, he's far enough away that we cannot perceive him with our naked eye, but he can be seen on a telescope. And he moves very swiftly. And so through that 4-minute window of the wide berth of the total eclipse, that comet is going to be on the same trajectory as the eclipse path. So we can't look at it because you can't look at the sun. Secondly, we can't see it with our naked eye anyway, besides being blinded by the sun. And so you can best rest assured that NASA is going to have every camera tuned in to catch a fleeting glimpse of the dragon as it goes through the path. So hopefully one of them will catch it at the right moment and we'll all get to see the replay.
Yeah.
With filters.
Yes, right here in Mesquite, we are kind of in the bullseye too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Close enough. You know,
Yes.
I think the path of the eclipse is 150 miles long, wide.
Oh,
Something
yeah,
like that.
we're in there.
120, somewhere between 122 and 150. It's hard to get an accurate read when you're just using a map and measuring, you know.
Mhm.
Let's
Yeah, well,
see.
then that puts us in the bullseye.
Yeah, you are. And so like Texas is all geared up because there's going to be so many people there coming to watch and just be and stand in the path of the total eclipse.
Yes, we're getting a lot of people, well, relatives and friends that want to come vacation.
All of
to
a
see the
sudden.
eclipse.
Did you want to be here last year? Oh yeah. Yeah, there was that last year too.
Yeah,
And now you won't see him again for another 10 years. So, you know.
exactly. That's exactly the type we're getting calling.
Yeah.
There aren't any hotel rooms left anymore.
Right.
Everybody got them reserved.
So,
Well,
you know,
let's say hello to a few people. We've got a few that dropped in. Hi,
Yeah.
Andrea,
Hey,
Divaria,
everyone.
Hypnicity. It's
so,
good to
you
see
know,
you.
it's good for business.
Uh-huh.
It's good for Texas economy. It's good for everybody's economy because if you're
Yeah.
traveling, you're spending
Yep.
your vacation. And we have some very positive things going on. Also, we have, well, on the 8th, we have that Uranus at one end trining Pluto at the other end of what looks like a crossbow. I didn't bring the chart with me, but there is a Venus-Mars conjunction that is the release point on the top of the kite, which also looks like a crossbow because that's going off in Aries, and that puts the opposite side on the galactic supercenter, which is 2 degrees of Libra, 2 to 5 degrees of Libra within that. So we have this beautiful trine between Uranus and Pluto, both standing in integrity, both wanting change, both knowing the way forward is through love. In Aries, Venus is still a morning star, so she is still the goddess warrior, and she is with one of her favorite paramours, Mars, and the way forward. So they're in a Kazami, and then we have the moon and the sun and Chiron in a Kazami, healing, kissing in each other. Let's get it going. We got a way forward. Let's go for it. So we have that going on as well.
Oh, good.
You know, and I want to say when we think about Pluto, we always think of him as Lord of the underworld, but he's also a pillar of strength, and he's a very wealthy guy because what's underground? All the minerals and all the jewels. It's not money. It's not money until you convert it. It's like you got to go under there and you got to dig and you got to chip away and you got to hope for a big hunk to come off. And sometimes they blast.
Yep.
And that also is the energy of both Uranus and Pluto, but they're in a strong foundation because they're in 100-degree trine. Solid.
Wow. It's going to be a wild ride.
And then we also have a nice trine between Sedna and Pluto. And that trine, though it's not exact at that moment, this is something that's going to go on for another 20 years. We've already been in it. And Sedna is the asteroid dwarf planet that represents the Inuit goddess. And she is the goddess of sacrifice and adaptation because her father sacrificed her life to save his own. And her choice was to become the goddess of the undersea. And so this is like the kidneys working, because Pluto is about underground fire and Sedna is about underground water.
Mhm.
And that is what we need to make our kidneys work. And
Mhm.
like we can't function without the brain and the heart, we
Yeah.
can't function without our kidneys either. That is
Yeah.
one of those polarities that must, it works like a steam engine. You need the liquid and the heat to create the steam
Mhm.
to eliminate what no longer serves your purpose in
Wow.
more than one, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's a good time to also be checking on your elimination process.
Uh-huh.
You know, especially for us women who are so easily prone to UTIs, double up on the cranberry juice, girls.
Gotcha.
Double up on taking dandelion, drink dandelion root tea. Yum. Roasted dandelion root tea. Awesome. So there are things to help you maintain that same kidney health that we see going on. Because when you have kidney issues,
Mhm.
the reality of life becomes a little stranger, because it really, really drains your potassium levels.
Mhm.
Potassium is an important mineral that keeps us balanced,
Yeah.
helps to distribute all the other minerals so
Mhm.
that they're not toxic, but rather used for entertainment purposes only, because no, I am not a doctor nor a nurse. just pretty well read.
Well read and a lot of experience.
Okay, I'm getting hot. This one's got to go. I had an orange sweater on and I went, no. And then I went, well, yeah, because Ireland's colors are orange and green. So we're going.
Mhm.
But I just wanted to overdo.
Of course.
What would you call that? Overachiever?
Yes. You're an overachiever today.
Yeah. Yeah, that's better.
Yep.
This will go soon. So what shall we read on?
I don't know. We haven't got any questions yet or any requests for a reading. Who would like one? Okay, we got a comment from Andrea. She said Sedona is a guide associated with the gong used in the quantum physics work around my heart. Wow, that's interesting.
That's very, yeah, there you go.
Yep. Anyway, you want to do a reading for the group?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, how are we going to all fare through these? Let's look at the end of March and then we'll look at April separately.
Okay, boy, that sounds like a good idea. I didn't think that. That's with all that's going on. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it's as intense as the end of February was. When we got to the 28th and the 29th, kind of smoothed out. But the minute we got into March, winds of change did begin to blow. Came in like a lion, it's going to go out like a lion. Got to do that one again.
Okay, I can get started.
Okay, go, because there goes my memory. I got to start reading.
Yeah, me too. It's been a tumultuous time, and that kind of everything
we knew.
Yeah. Okay, I've got our grounding is in pyrite. Grounding is the pyrite. And it landed in the heart and love section, and it encourages understanding that all is not in the physical realm. So get out of your head and into your heart, because the non-physical counts too. And you need to pay a bit of attention to that. You need to look at what you really care about. And then I've got in air, I've got two stones there. The mind, or the orange calcite, is in air. And that's thoughts are all important. Pay attention to your thoughts. Keep them positive.
I got this. Perfect. I got the same thing.
Okay, and I got the fuchsite, or the body, is in air also, and it's ground your thoughts. Am I repeating myself? It sounds like it.
No, I think, yeah. Oh, this is, it's so interesting because it's so much what we were just talking about.
Yep. And then I have the amethyst, or your spirit, is in both air and fire. And that's spirit transforms thinking and thoughts from the past, clouding or enlightening ideas. So you've got to watch your thoughts. Your thoughts are what's guiding everything right now. You need to keep positive, and you got to be direct with yourself. Pay attention to what you're thinking and feeling, because your thinking is going to direct your feeling to some extent. With all this going on astrologically, politically, personally, you add all of that together, you've got a lot going on. And then the sodalite, or clarity, is in fire and water. Okay, use the ideas you carry from the past and past lives for a solution. So if you're wound up in a problem, think of how that affected you before, and you'll come up with a good answer. And it's also in water. You have the clarity you need. Follow one of the paths and use your life force to resolve your situations.
Wow.
There you go. So that's follow your heart, follow your heart, follow your heart.
Right. And it's the mind-heart connection, because we have to have that, or they can't function without each other.
Yep.
So my citrine, or calcite rather, ended up half in future and half in air. So that, you already said it. That's perfect with that. Then my amethyst is half in path forward and in earth. So it's balancing your energy in the path forward, but with water, it's not complete yet. The thoughts are not finished creating themselves. And that brings us right back to that calcite being in thoughts about the future when we can't stand in the present. Right? We have to be careful with what kind of thoughts we're sending out, right? And then I have pyrite totally in earth, and that is more to be brought forward. Stay grounded. Stay grounded through all this. That doesn't mean don't dream. It just says make sure that we also have April 1st. Mercury's going retrograde. So what does that mean? That means we have to make sure, pay attention to what's going on now, because that's the first section that he's going to go over. And he's in the shadow phase. He's going to be going right through all that stuff all over again. So when he's retrograde, it doesn't mean you can't sell your house. It just means make sure you've read the fine print 3 times. Because some of your best deals are had when Mercury makes you read the fine print several times, right?
Exactly.
Right. And then I have sodalite in the past, which eclipses are about. What's back there that you need to get rid of? What's your shadow work? We have the lunar eclipse first. What's the shadow work that we need to be doing? So let's see. I have to look it up. Sodalite in past. Right there. Yes, use the lessons that you've learned for the answers going forward, which is that whole thing that I was just saying about retrogrades, etc. Checking the fine print. And then fuchsite is in the sacral chakra, and in the sacral, and it's all about creativity. So there's many ways to go forward, right? I mean, you know what I did for the past 5 hours? Something that I should have done 10 years ago, which was to create a will and testament.
Oh, wow.
So it took me that long to get it together because, the checkbook's over here, the credit cards are over there, the numbers are over there. What do I want to say? How do I want this to be done? No, I want a Harley, and I want to hear the first song needs to be being followed by a moon shadow, and the closing song is Born to Be Wild. I don't care what you do in the middle. Just have a good time, play some rock. Now it's not because I'm sick or I feel, it's just our destination. It is the final outcome of life. We are all aware of it. We know that. But I'm about to turn 75, so it's about time I get a little serious about it. So, anyways, that's how I spent my morning. So if I look funnier than normal, it's because my eye makeup is drooling into my eyes right now.
Of course, everything's blooming here too. It's driving us crazy.
Oh, I know. So we had a big solar shower yesterday that came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden I was doing just hunky dory with the day, and all of a sudden I was so sick to my stomach, and I couldn't figure it out, and I suddenly my ears were screaming in a way that they had screamed for weeks. It's like, what did I just do to knock myself out of balance? How did I cause this? What was I doing? And I couldn't figure it out. And so, of course, I went looking on YouTube and the Schumann resonance. So I went and looked at that first, and then I went and found a couple of videos about the solar flares that came through later in the day. And we also had a big, I can't remember. It involved Neptune at 2:00 this morning.
Oh, that explains why I'm rattled today.
Yes, it was Kizami. I forget what other planet. It was Kizami at 2:00. Eastern time would have been 3 a.m. your time, roughly. 4:22 Pacific, so 3:22, 2:22.
Yeah, that's when I woke up, was like right after 3. It was just like perfect timing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of made me a little rattled all morning. Yeah.
Oh, remember how my cord is all cattywampus, worn out? Because I finally realized, oh yeah, I've had this cord for 3.5 years. Of course it's worn out. So I ordered a new cord. It came yesterday, and I don't know if they sent the wrong one or I ordered the wrong one, but it's the wrong jack. It's like far too big. It's like not for my iPad. So that has to go back, and another one's on its way. Nothing like doing things twice, and it's just in the shadow phase.
Yep.
Welcome to the wonderful world of Gemini.
Okay, we've got a couple of readings here if you want to get
started. Yeah, let's.
Yeah. We've got Devaria first. Do you see anything happening for me in May and April?
Okay. Hi, Devaria. Good to see you. Ish. I can't really see you, but I can see you.
Yep.
In my mind's eye.
Okay. I've got your body. The Diffusite is in present and air. Good way to start with the present. The time is now. For something going on with you, the time is now to do something. And ground your thoughts. Make sure they're positive. The solution is going to come at the perfect time, the perfect place, and in the perfect way. Whatever you've got that you need, or things that need to change, at the perfect time, the perfect place, in the perfect way. Keep that running in your head instead of how it's going to fail. Because if you lean on how it's going to fail, that's going to wipe it out for you. So you've got to pay attention to that. Make sure your thoughts are where they should be. And then your sodalite is in earth. You have many paths ahead of you. The correct one will appear in the future. Ask your guides to make sure that that path is in your face. That they push you the way, ask your guides to push you the way you need to go. Make sure you get that right path. And then I have your orange calcite, or your mind, is in the solar plexus. Power through connecting mental forces. There you go. Again, make sure your thoughts are positive. And then I have your amethyst, your spirit, is in your sacral chakra. Spirit inspires creative energy. There you go. You keep it positive and work on those little projects you have, those creative things, and that will lead you to the right way to go. And it'll keep your thoughts in line in keeping them positive. Do whatever your creative things are that you do. That's going to help you. And finally, I've got your pyrite, or your grounding, is in water. It says grounding chances are settling in to long-term patterns. So your grounding is settling in. Keep leaning on that grounding. That grounding is going to help you a lot. And it'll help with keeping things positive. If you ground into the positive, it'll help keep your mind going the way it needs to go. So that's what I've got for you. Keep positive.
So I wish I had a better ability to show you what this looks like, because it's in a straight line, left to right.
Wow.
From the west into the east. And so I'm going to read it that way, because that's how we read, left to right, right? That's our norm. It reminds me of that trine between Uranus headed over there towards Pluto. So it is amethyst that's in true. You already know what you need. You already understand what needs to change, what your way forward is, how to go about it. Then you have fuscite in water. And fuscite in water is, remember to stay grounded. And fuscite in water helps you. And when we think about Saturn and Neptune being in water signs right now, that element right there makes it hard to see the future, because Saturn's about foundations and they're in a shifty place. And Neptune is about dreaminess, and he's in a shifty place. He's in his own sign. And think of fish. They're so smart at being grounded. They don't see in a straight line, but neither do you when you look at them. When you look straight down into the water and you see a fish, it's not where you think it is. It's 2 inches moved over to the left. You're not looking at the fish. You're looking at the bending water of the fish. So there's illusion there. There's an element of illusion. And how do we stay grounded when we're looking at our toes in the water? We're standing in the sand and we dig in a little bit and let the waves hit us and play that game. But we're still standing in the sand, digging a little deeper if we have to. So that fuscite, that's what that's doing for you. Then you have both sodalite and pyrite in air. like stacked on top of each other, basically. And that is, that sodalite is, I'm sorry, I got to put it under the light so I can reread it. You have many paths ahead of you. The correct one will appear to you in the future. So I'm thinking you should really look more towards the changes that can be made in April. And then that pyrite is also about, be sure your thoughts are clear. And then the mental actions are the path for your abundance. So it is about using your ideas, but it's to be sure that your thoughts are clear, which brings us back to that fusite in water, right? Mm-hmm. You got to keep yourself 1 foot at least on the floor while the rest of the room spins while you're lying on your bed. And then you have the orange calcite is in earth. And calcite in earth is the final thoughts on this are coming to you. The situation hasn't quite cleared that path. So when the lunar eclipse occurs, that is the stimulation, oh, wait, we can't see the moon, but that double illumination, that sun is even more intense because it's soaking up the moon. I mean, there's that. And as it moves out of the path and the light starts to come forward again, you get this big smack in the head. Oh, okay. And then you're still going to need a little time to prepare. So I would think that it's going to be more in April for you that the change is really going to happen.
Yeah, and above all, keep your thoughts positive. It'll bring in the positive.
Yeah.
So there are definitely changes coming. Just make sure you keep that positive because that's going to lead you along the way you need to go.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Let's see who we have next. Next we have Rossi.
Hi, Rossi.
May I have a garden reading for the rest of the month? Okay, there we go.
Oh.
Okay, I'll let you go. I'm a little behind you.
Okay. Again, and it is the highest on this chart. I have the amethyst over it in the tree of life and harmony. And so amethyst is actions without your spirit is empty. Actions without your spirit is empty. Where are you sensing that someone is taking advantage of you? And you still have to keep doing the mundane in order to get past and get what you need, but your spirit isn't in it anymore. Then we have fusite is in fire. So what did you do? It's embody your past. So what did you do in the past that helped you rectify this kind of a situation? And then we have calcite in false. Calcite in how did I misplace silly little false right up there on the top? Don't dwell on, oh my gosh, it just started snowing. Oh, it's St. Patty's Day. Of course it's snowing. I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt the flow there, but what did I say? Calcite and false. Don't tell yourself false scenarios. Don't make it worse. You know that somebody is taking advantage of you. let's just put your mind in a place where you can sense that they just don't even know they're doing it. That is better than saying they're out to get me. Because when you look at it that way, you're changing the words, you're changing the language, and that gives opportunity for spirit to help you make that change that you need to see happen. Then we have both sodalite and pyrite in sacral and creativity of the sacral chakra. And so sodalite, it's amazing that 3 readings, they have fallen together in the same spot. Creativity is needed to harmonize with your own intentions of what you would like to see happen. And manifestation is supercharged at this time. So that would bring you right back to use the language that gets you what you want. And instead of, I know I'm being taken advantage of, even if they don't know they're doing it, I should be whatever the situation is. Stand in a place where I've already got it. I can envision it. Now let's go walk towards it, and don't worry about those outside influences. Keep them from being influences. Make them your awareness, because that amethyst in the tree of life, that is in the west, in the northwest. So it is putting your sacred thoughts into that contemplation that has to happen before you'll see the change that you want.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I think we could all use for a lesson there, Rossi. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, actually, that seems to hit home for me too.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Now, let's see what I've got here. I've got your sodalite, or your clarity, is in the throat chakra, which is ideas for wisdom will flow freely. So your wisdom is on. Take advantage of it. That's what you need to follow, is that wisdom. Then you have your body, or the fuchsite, is in the heart and the solar plexus. The body will bring forth power and physical form tied to freedom of the heart. Wow, that's gangbusters.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot like a go for it. Whatever you're doing, keep following your wisdom.
Yeah.
You know, keep what you've learned up here in the front of your mind instead of the back, because it'll help you along with this. And it sounds like a go for it. And then I have the your orange calcite, or your mind, is in water. Let go of limitations. So for you right now, I would say there are no limitations. Let go of all of them. Let go of your limitations. Go for what you're looking for. It's going to come to you. And then your amethyst, or your spirit, is in air. And that spirit transforms thinking. So you need to bring your spirit into this. Like, do your meditations, do your manifestations. All of that's going to help pull together and get you what you're looking for, what you want. It'll help pull it to you. And then I've got your grounding in earth. Okay, where are we? More to be brought forward. So this is a ongoing thing. It's going to take its time, like the rest of the month, probably, to get through whatever you're going through, or whatever you're trying to manifest. It's going to take that bit of time to get there. So it's probably going to show up at the end of the month, if not the beginning of the next month. So keep that in mind. And that's what I've got for you.
Now look how those two
Uh-huh.
move together.
Yeah.
Such a fluidity.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yep. Okay, let's see who we have next. Next we have Ellen R. There you go. Okay, could I have a reading, please? What will spring 2024 be like for me? Okay, that's a good one. You're welcome, Roxy. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. You have your orange calcite in air and water. And that is, your thoughts are all important in air. And in water, it's let go of your limitations. What's the story you're telling yourself, right? Make sure you stick to positive wording. Then we have sodalite in earth and path forward. And so that sodalite is in earth, it is you have many paths ahead of you. Choices are yours for the taking, but the correct path is going to show itself to you. And it's on the path forward as well. So I don't need to say anything more about that, right? It's self-explanatory. It's going to show you which one is the right one, even if you have to step over a boulder to get to it, because the path less often traveled, right? So then you have pyrite in earth again, more to be brought forward. This is, like I had just said, we've got this do-over. It's another new year. It's the astrological new year. So now we are beginning with the new season, spring, rather than starting with winter and beginning a new year for January. And then you have your sodalite, fusite is in the heart and love chakra and in the solar plexus and power chakra. So you have body will bring forth your power. Good time to start a new exercise regime. Whatever you can do, whether you have limitations or not, there are still things that you can do to help keep your physical strength up. And then in the heart and love is love yourself just as much as you would love anybody else. Physical form tied to the freedom of the heart. So love yourself freely, love others freely, and standing in love is the better way to manifestation, because what you give out is what you get back.
Oh, beautiful. Yep. Okay. Are you finished, Diana?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
All right. I've got, huh?
End of transmission.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. I've got your spirit in your throat chakra. And a spirit shines through self-expression. Talk to people. Sing. Whatever you need to do. Dance. Anything to express yourself. Right? And then I've got 3 stones in water.
Wow.
So I'm going to
grounding.
Yep.
While you swim through it all.
Yep. So first I have your mind, or your orange calcite is in water and air a little bit. Okay. The water is let go of limitations, and thoughts are all important. So you need to think about those limitations and let go of a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they aren't really limitations if you think about it. So it's easier to let go of them
Right.
when they're
Self-imposed
ones that
fiction.
you create for yourself.
Yeah.
And then your sodalite is in water. That would be your clarity. And that's you have the clarity you need. Follow one of the paths and use your life force to resolve your situations. So stay in that creative thinking. That'll help you decide which path, or maybe even set you on the right one. And then we've got your body, or your fuchsite is in water also. So that helps from grounding elements. You need to ground, 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 ground. That'll keep you on the right path. And then finally, I've got your grounding, or your pyrite is in crown enlightenment. Helps give confidence in our ability to correct energies. There you go. You have help coming. You're going to have help with that grounding. So dive into it. That grounding is going to lead you on the right path, and you're going to make sure you stick there.
Sure.
So that's what spring's going to be like for you. You need to place all of your energies really into grounding, and that self-expression will help too. It helps your grounding a lot when you express yourself. You do that dancing, you do that thinking, you do that writing, whatever it is you do a painting, whatever's your creative outlet, that will help clear the mind and help keep you grounded.
Mm-hmm. You can have moving meditation, working meditation.
One of my best meditations is washing dishes by hand.
Yeah, because you're playing in the water.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't it take you right back to being a 4-year-old playing in the water in the bathtub?
Uh-huh. Yep.
I can remember standing at the kitchen sink when it really wasn't, but it felt deep enough that I had soap bubbles up to here, right? And kneeling on a chair in order to do it, because it was, waist high for an adult.
Yeah.
And I can hear my dad saying to my mom, she's only playing. And my mom saying, so what? The dishes are getting clean and I'm not doing them. And then dishes became a chore, but I still do mine by hand. Well, I don't have that many, but even when I have a house full of people, I use antique dishes. So I'm putting it in the dishwasher.
Yeah, you
and
can.
I never use it. In fact, I'm having it taken out and just building some shelves, because I need more shelves than I need an empty hole. And I have well water. And you know what the inside scene looks like?
Yeah.
And I inherited that way. I sure don't want to use it and keep propagating. I mean, it's just stained with rust, but that means so is all the hoses leading to it,
Exactly, yes. And that's only going to lead to problems down the road.
Yeah, it's rust, even though, it attacks metal. I don't know about polyurethane, Polybiphenyl chloride. Yeah, it might take a while to break down, but I bet that stuff can eat through anything.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what we have here now. Okay, is it Flower Beauty? Okay, yeah, we've got one more. She wants a reading. She hasn't put in what she wants, but she wants a reading. So we can just do a general, or if you would like to put in
a specific
question. Oh, no, Hypnicity, I missed you. Okay. All right, we'll go with Hypnicity and let Flower Beauty formulate her question and get it put in. Okay, Hypnicity, here we go.
I could hear you talking, Hypnicity. I knew it. I was saying in my head, Hypnicity has one.
I just somehow missed it.
Oh, it's easy. Even when there's not a lot of chat, it's still easy to miss.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Tara, your way. Good to see you.
Hey, Thomas. Okay, I'm going to do that one again.
Do you want to go first? I've got a long one.
Okay. Is this the 30th time today Sodalite has landed in air?
Yeah, I think so.
Or something has landed in air, but Sodalite is in air this time. And so be sure your thoughts are clear.
Mm-hmm.
Be sure your thoughts are clear. Next, we have calcite in false and partially on earth. Ground yourself. What false narrative are you telling yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And I also had amethyst land in restate. And because the calcite was already in false, I'm going to take the value of that restate with amethyst to mean tell yourself something different, ask a different question. But then I picked it up and threw it so you could find a better way to the solution. That is your creativity. Amethyst landed in the sacral creativity. And with that happening, you have that, you've got to put your spirit into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's love what you do what you love. And we both know you have this creative outlet, particularly when it comes to music. I know it, for a while, honey, I know you've been feeling it for a while. So just go back to that creative source. Just turn it up. Crank those speakers and go stand outside. Let our friend Rick hear what you're playing. And then you have pyrite is in the solar plexus. So feel it in your gut. Mm-hmm. And you know, nothing, come on, we're old rockers. There's nothing better than turning up that volume, man. I still have to bang my head. And then you have fusite in the heart and love chakra. So, I mean, you have 3 stones that are in chakras. So it is about lining up those sacral, solar plexus, and heart. So the one through here, not your root, not your core. It's got to come from the heart connection because your strength is in here. And the false statements you're telling yourself. So connect this and the rest is going to fall into place. And you know how music is your solution. Mm-hmm. That's all of it.
Yep.
End of trans.
Sing and dance. Okay, now I'll go with mine. I've got your pyrite is in your third eye, throat chakra, present, path forward, earth, and air. It's on all of those.
Whoa.
So here we go. Let's start with the third eye. Brings in abundance to the brings abundance to life, including, I don't know why I can't read that. So I guess it's because of gold.
Yeah.
It brings abundance to life, including manifesting your vision. And it's also in the third eye, which helps to give confidence in our ability to connect energies. So you're going towards a manifesting period. And then it's also in the present, which is values are being purified now. So you need to check your values and see what's valid and what is not, and keep the good ones. Hang on to those good values. And then it's also in path forward, which is more of the abundance is to be created. So that manifestation is going to bring you abundance. You need to work on your manifestation. Seems to me like the path really set here for you. And it's also in earth and air. So we'll go with air. Mental actions are the path to your abundance. So you need to keep those thoughts positive, because that abundance is coming. As long as you keep your thoughts positive, it'll keep it on its way. And then it's also in earth, which is more to be brought forward. So you're going to get more information about this as you go. It's going to lead you down your path. You've got stuff coming that will lead you down that path you need to go on for that abundance to come in. And you can manifest whatever you want. Abundance isn't just money or things. Abundance can be an abundance of good energy, an abundance of new friends. It can be pretty much anything that you would like or want. And then in air, we also have your spirit and your body. So your body in air is ground your thoughts. That's a really good thing to do when you've got changing thoughts and changing thought patterns coming to you, especially when you're working on manifestation. If your thoughts are grounded, you'll be going in the right direction. And then your amethyst, or your spirit, is also in air. And its spirit transforms thinking. There you go.
Put your heart into it, right? Oh, call in your guides.
Absolutely.
Higher source with you.
Yep. And then in earth, we have your mind or orange calcite. And that's final thoughts on situation are coming. Like I said, you're going to hear messages from your guides. Things are going to be coming in. So let those thoughts flow, but make sure you keep it positive. The more positive you are, the more you're helping your abundance and your manifestation to come to fruition. And then I have your sodalite, or your clarity, is in fire. And then that says, use the ideas you carry from your past and past lives for a solution. So you look at your past and your past lives and find things that you did that turned out right. Look at what you did that actually brought about the manifestation you were going for, because you have done it in the past. You may not have recognized it then, but if you think back, you'll come up with examples for yourself. And spirit and guides will also help you. You've got more thoughts coming on this. They're going to be sending you those thoughts. So just basically follow your guides, follow your gut, stay grounded. And that'll bring about a change in that heavy energy. It'll lift it. And I'd recommend for the manifestation and abundance, again, dancing, singing, music, wonderful for it. Lift your spirit up and it'll change things. It'll get rid of that heavy energy.
Yeah.
And that's what we got for you, Hypnicity. Okay, let's see who we have next.
Did Flower write a question?
Yeah, I think she did. I didn't pick it up here, but I'll have it on. I can go back and find it. Okay, where was it? Okay, this is a like a third-party question. What will happen, A and me? I think what she's looking for is what's going to happen between her and somebody else. The only thing we can do there is to read what's going on for you, because we can't include somebody that isn't here because the energy just won't flow right. So we'll just do how are things going to be for you. That'll give you a good idea of where things are with you and another person.
And then you'll know how to apply that to the other person.
Oh, honey, ground, ground, ground. This
Oh, honey.
your grounding stone flew off the table,
Oh,
so you really need to ground.
mhm.
Are you ready, Diana?
Yeah, I could go because
Okay.
I have total light and air again. It's touching into water a little bit, but amethyst, I'm sorry, earth a little bit, but amethyst is totally. So I'll just read these two quickly here together. So this is be sure your thoughts are clear with that sodalite in air. And with it being a little bit in earth and amethyst being completely in earth, there's that sodalite shows you there's many paths, and the amethyst is more to be brought forward later. So it's looking like make no decisions, make nothing permanent at this time till you have clarity. And then we have you have fuchsite in false. Fuchsite in false is listen to what your body's saying to you. What is your gut telling you about this question you have? What do you deep down inside really know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, listen to that spirit that's in you that's directing that answer. And then you have pyrite, half in restate and half in fire. So be as passionate about changing the way you're talking or thinking as you are about the situation. I'm assuming it's something, I keep getting that it's something that you want to have happen. But you have to give yourself a reality check on that, because now we have calcite in water. And that's your thoughts, your mind in water is let go of limitations. So all sorts of things are possible, but it's not time to make a decision on anything. It's time to sit in that, let's just look and see what's going to happen here. Let's see how this plays out. It's not, you don't manipulate a situation. You want to manifest a situation, and that's still, you have to work with the energies to see what belongs together. Well, if this is over here and this is over here, are these two going to work together? Tie the knot. It'll break if it's not going to work. You know, do the muscle test.
Oh, I love that one.
So you can, after Angela is done reading for you, try the muscle test on the question that you have in your heart about this situation and see what that answers.
I like that. That's a good idea. Very good idea. Okay, I've got your grounding is in the throat chakra, which is truth. And it boosts self-esteem for our own self-expression. So you need to pick you up. You need to pay more attention to how you feel about you. That's what's going to give you your answer. The more you think about, what do you value? What do you value about yourself? You have to be more in that mode to boost your self-esteem, so you know where you're going and you're using your head wisely. You're thinking about things in a wiser way. Oh, and she asks how do you do a muscle test? You want to show her, Diana?
Okay, so you take your baby fingers. They're the strongest fingers on your hand, believe it or not. So a lot of times people use their pinkies. And you concentrate on the question. And if the answer is no, it's going to let go. It is going to let go. Stand in the candy aisle. Should I buy this big bag of York peppermint panties? No, no, spirit wouldn't even let me get a grip. Or your index finger, whatever finger you're most comfortable with,
Mhm.
and just relax, hold the strength in those two fingers. If it withstands that muscle test, it's the way forward. If it does not, let go of any expectations.
Yep. There you go. So you're looking at boosting your self-esteem and your self-expression. That's coming for you. You've got that change coming on its way. But I have now your spirit and body are both in earth. Okay, spirit transforming, but not yet finished. So something's changing for you. You've got changes coming in. And then you have physical changes as well. So physical changes are going to affect how you go forward in a relationship. Physical changes are going to make a big difference. Mm-hmm. So you've got changes coming in, whatever you've decided on right now, or whatever is playing out in your head, you can just, push that aside for right now, because you've got changes coming in both spirit and body. And then I have your mind, or your orange calcite, is in fire, as well as your sodalite, which is clarity. So let's see, calcite. Do not become tied to false energy of the past. Don't be daydreaming about the past when you've got your future to look forward to. And then your clarity is in use the ideas you carry from the past and past lives for a solution. How did this situation turn out in the past? Because you've had a similar situation happen. Look at how that happened and how it turned out, and see what you did right there. You want to pay attention to what you did right.
Mm-hmm.
And anything that went really bad, you want to pay attention to that too, in that you know how to get your way out of a mistake. You get it out of it now. If it's going to be a mistake, if it's going to be better that you end it quick rather than dive in. So you've got to look at your past to decide which way to go there to some extent. And the flower beauty, the physical changes, you really can't tell if they're good or bad. But in this situation, I would say that, we all have physical changes, and things are going to be good and some things are going to be bad. It's going to be a balance somewhere in between. So you really don't know ahead of time. You can't even tell on here whether it's good or bad. This doesn't make a judgment. It just tells you the way the energy is going. So you're going to have physical changes, like maybe when I was a kid, I had white hair. My hair didn't start darkening until I was in my late teens. And that's when it started to actually get a color. So that's the kind of physical changes that can happen. Or like this last year, I finally found my first gray hair. I'm never going to get a full head of purple hair at this rate, as long as I am now.
Well, and mine's actually starting to go straight. I mean, it's not, my hair has been naturally curly most of my life. It's really limp going straight. It is finally getting longer, but it's not gray, and it's not blonde, and it's not, what the heck happened to my hair? Who changed this? Who did this?
Yeah, where I'm going to be like my grandmother, and I'll be 75 before it starts to really go gray.
Oh, thank you. It's the magic number, right?
Apparently. So see,
sure.
It's not a message of doom that you'll have physical changes.
Mm-hmm.
Just really upon your perspective of it.
Right. And, the old adage of the body has all new cells every 7 years, right?
Yeah.
Well, liken that to your Saturn return every 7 years.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Well, you know, when I had gone to the doctor and was explaining things to her about the Saturn return that was going on my surgeries, of course, you say astrology to a doctor, their eyes go crossed, you know, it's like, oh, that shit. But then I said, now you as a doctor, you know, every 7 years. She goes, yeah. I said, well, Saturn is every 7 years. Square, opposite, square, same place that it was. And now it's back to the same place that it was. And now I'm going back to where I was 28 years ago. And
Holy moly!
and
I didn't realize that.
well, and then
I'm doing the
she
same
took a
thing.
deep breath and sat back in the chair and went, oh. oh. Oh, I get it now. So I even gave the doctor an aha moment, you know. But that's how it is. Now with Jupiter, it's every 12 years because it's 12, 12, 12, 12. So you get your first Jupiter return when you're 56. Because it's a longer span. But that, especially if you do Ayurvedic astrology, you're working with a rectangle square to begin with because they don't do a circular chart.
Ah, okay.
Right? But the sequence of events with how many years it takes this many years to be back where it was on your birthday. However, it's not the same position. It's squaring where it was when you were born. Then it's opposite 7 years later. When you're 14, it's opposite where you were when you were born. What do you do when you're 14 on a Saturn return? You're like testing all the muddy waters, man. They said my hand was going to get burned. You might question that when you're 7 because you're at the age of reason. When you get to 14, you're going to test everything they ever told you because now you're getting puberty. When you get over here to 28 or 21, you're like, okay, I've lived a little. I'm legal in 50 states. I've got a driver's license, you know, especially when you think back to my day, because you had to be 21 to drink when I was a kid. And then when you get to be 28, you've experienced, you've had a credit card. You've maybe gotten a loan. You've paid off your first car, or, you know, you bought a couple of junkers and then you finally got a loan that got you a car. Because you're 28 and there's a stability that comes with that. You've had enough ups and downs and failures and testing your own waters to be in a place where you would hopefully go forward from there and make wiser decisions because you have a foundation. And that brings us to the Four of Wands and the foundation that is found in the four of any card, be it cartomancy or tarot, right?
Well, pretty much in everything, 4 is a foundation.
Exactly. So every planet does that. With the sun, we do it once a year.
Yeah.
But you still look at it, you know, like once a year. How many? Once a year, you now where? Now that first year you're squaring, the next year you're opposite, the next year it's here, the next year it's there. To hit it exact. Or pretty darn close. So you can do that with just about any planet when you're looking at returns. And then there's the rising sign and the moon, you know, like the moon is like every 2.5 days that changes signs. So that's a lot of math. If you do it with a rising sign, well, it's like a clock is right twice a day, right? So when you do it with rising sign, it hits it. Does it hit, like I'm Libra, born at 2:55 in the afternoon? Will it be my birthday when it hits that, or will it be the exact time that I was born when it hits that same degree of Libra? Not necessarily on the, you know, to match up with the day I was born. So you can get really, really intricate, or you can deal with the bigger planets, which are easier to deal with when you're doing returns. Because they move slower. It's easier to keep track and measure. Those personal planets move so fast that's where you really need to do the journaling. So for the sake of the bigger planets, your journals go back years.
Yeah.
It's like when you have
That's
kids,
right.
you keep track of everything that happens in your life by what was going on in their life. Let's see. Okay, they started school that year. They lost their first tooth. They broke their arm. Oh, the big one. He broke his neck and survived. Lucky man. He's 40, going to be 41 this year. Oh my God, my baby. The last one born is going to be 41.
Wow.
That's what I say.
Gives you a sense of how time passes, doesn't it?
Right, because, you know, I can remember thinking I'd never even make it to 40 myself. So, anyway. Well, my dear.
Yeah, we're about to go, but I want to show a comment from Andrea because I think
sure.
Cash actually did muscle testing and pictures for eating bananas. Turns out he didn't need to eat a whole banana, only part of it. And some areas were better nutritionally. So you can go to Cash Peters, his YouTube channel, and you can see a really good, big example. He does a whole show on the muscle testing. So
yeah,
you can check here if you've got any question in mind regarding the muscle testing. That'll show you even more.
He likes that one. He does that a lot, actually.
Yeah. Yep. But it is about time to go.
Yeah. Happy St. Patty's Day.
Absolutely. Enjoy, but don't over enjoy.
Exactly.
Okay. We shall see you next weekend.
Bye-bye.
Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Peace out. Gloria.